Hey, Prodigious Trip here. I review anything and everything. And on today's special episode, I had someone actually ask me why I like Dragon Ball Z so much. And I told him it was like one of the first animes that I ever saw when I was younger. And I thought it was really cool. I was actually not interested in Dragon Ball Z, actually, at the time. Dragon Ball Z came out, I think, in 1996 or 97, I think. Maybe 1995. And I think you could only watch it on, I think, PBS. Because it was that and, like, Sailor Moon. It was weird. They were one of the very first animes that you could actually watch and on I think it was on PBS, yeah. Because Toonami brought it out in around, I think, like 2000, where you could actually watch Dragon Ball Z, and it was more of a story, and it was actually voiced by the people that do it now. That's how they voiced it. But the original ones that you could see on PBS were voiced by somebody else. And I never really got into it. I actually watched Sailor Moon instead. I don't know why. I thought it was cooler, but I was like, oh, I'm not going to watch Dragon Ball Z. It looks stupid. I never actually watched an episode at that time. And so, not until it came out on Toonami. And so once Toonami started showing it, I was like, all right. You know, I was watching, I think, one of the other shows at the time that they were showing, like they had Reboot and some other, like, non-anime ones, or it was a different anime. It was like, I think, Gundam Wing or something. And I was watching that, and I was like, I'm not going to watch Dragon Ball Z. That just looks stupid. And I don't know why I thought that at the time. After a while, they started showing Dragon Ball. And that is the prequel show to Dragon Ball Z. It's a story of Goku when he was a kid. Doesn't explain anything about the Saiyans or anything like that. It's just pretty much just how Goku grew up, meeting all the characters that you see in Z and all that. And I was just like, well, what is this show about, you know? And I was just bored. I think I was watching Hamtaro with my buddy Jeremy over at Jeremy's Boas. And I was just like, let's see what this show is about. What's Dragon Ball about? And so I watched the first couple episodes, and I'm like, it's okay. Again, it was an anime about just a little kid who is very naive but super strong. He has the power pole, and so he goes around trying to defend people, help people, and meets up with Bulma, and they travel around trying to collect the Dragon Balls. It was a very interesting show, and so that's what got me into Dragon Ball Z. So I watched the entire series of Dragon Ball because that Toonami had it on there. And then after a while, I was like, I gotta see what happens. And Dragon Ball actually ends with them, with the announcer saying, all right, keep, if you like this and you want to, keep seeing what happens with Goku and the rest of his friends on Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, this was the prequel to that show? I'm like, I never even put two and two together, that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z were the same thing. I'm just like, great. All right, let's see what Dragon Ball Z is. And I just loved it. I was like, I can't believe it took me this long to get into it because it was so cool. I don't know if it was just the way that they fight or whatever. I became really obsessed with it, and like I have like the entire series of Dragon Ball right here. I'm going to show you this. I can't find it on Blu-ray yet, so here's just the you can see it, yeah. Here, this is just the season. Season 1 and 2. There we go. Season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And really love this show. This was great. Like I said, I like how you introduced Master Roshi and Krillin, and seeing them younger, I think it just made it funnier because the way that they looked was just, again, Krillin is like a kid. He just looks so funny. Oh my gosh. He just looked like Squirtle from Pokemon, but white. So that was great. I loved it. After a while, I finally actually got this. This took me a while to do. I got the entire Dragon Ball Z series on Blu-ray, and I got them in a steelbook. Like, it took me a while to get these because these were hard to get, and season 2 and 3 are actually still really hard to get. Like, I still don't have them, actually. I don't have the complete set yet. 2 and 3 are still like, if I try to get them on Amazon, they're like $100-something bucks. I'm just like some of these are maybe like $30 tops. Like, it's really hard to get these. And so once I got these, I sent Jeremy over at Jeremy's Boas. I sent him the show, or because I had the whole series of Blu-rays already. There's 9 seasons, and like I said, these look really cool. I like that, yeah. So once I started getting these, I've been sending Jeremy over at Jeremy's Boas the Blu-rays one at a time. You probably see them in some of the videos I sent him, or some of the videos that he's done where he unboxed a video of where I sent him something, and it was like, oh, there's a season of Dragon Ball Z. It's because I got the once I got the Steelbook, I figured I sent him the actual Blu-ray other thing. He likes the show too, but he never got a chance to get it on Blu-ray. So if he could get it on 4K, I know he would, but I don't think they're bringing that out yet. And so one of the other cool things too about the show is they also had a bunch of movies. They were like individual movies. Some of them connected to the show, some of them didn't. The very first one was called The Dead Zone. It was where Goku actually meets Garlic Jr., who's basically trying to collect all the Dragon Balls to become immortal, which he does, and he becomes, super strong, and he opens up a dead zone to suck in Goku and try to, kill everybody, but he ends up getting stuck himself, because Gohan has a hidden power throughout the whole show, and he uses that as a kid and knocks Garlic Jr. into his own dead zone, and he's stuck there, and that's how the show, or that's how the movie ends. There's actually part of the series, I think in season 4 or season 3, where he gets out of the dead zone to come back, but it's really weird. But yeah, Dead Zone was a really good movie. Again, I wasn't too heavy in the anime at the time. Dragon Ball was the closest thing besides, Sailor Moon. I know, shame on me. Bad llama. And so, but once I got into it, I started really getting into a lot of other stuff. Because at the time, Toonami started showing some other cool shows, like Inuyasha, showed a Gundam Wing. It showed a lot of different Gundam shows. There was G Gundam, there was Gundam 0080, or 0087, or something. No, Gundam, the 08th MS team. There was, again, Gundam had like a whole mess of different series. I only have Gundam Wing, that was my favorite. But they had a whole mess of other anime shows. I know Jeremy over at Jeremy's Boas loved Hamtaro. That was one of his favorite ones. Oh man, that was a cute little one. They had Sakura, the card captor. I don't think they showed Digimon on there. That Digimon, I think, was a Fox Kids, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. If you know, write in the comments below if you remember that. I know Pokemon started off like that too, so it was like a Kids WB thing, or Fox Kids or something like that, and you can only see it on one of those. It wasn't Cartoon Network or Toonami. I know they had another anime called Outlaw Star. That was a cool one. I liked that one. Big O was another one. There's a whole mess of other ones. I still can't remember all of them, but yeah, so I started getting into a lot of different animes. But Dragon Ball Z was pretty much my favorite. I actually have all the movies right here. They had the Tree of Might. They had The World's Strongest. Revenge of Cooler. I think that was Jeremy over Jeremy's Boys. That was his favorite because Piccolo is like really awesome in that one. He kills like most of the people in that movie because Goku's hurt from Cooler, who is Frieza's brother, and I'm not going to tell you what every movie's about, but maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a movie review of all these movies. That'll be cool. Yeah, there was 12 movies for Dragon Ball Z, and then there was 2 like, I think all these movies actually came out in Japan, like in theaters. So except for like the history of Trunks and Bardock, the father of Goku, I think these were just like straight to DVD or just made for TV ones, because they really weren't. I mean, they connect to the show, but it wasn't really part of all the movie stuff. And then lately they've been doing the Dragon Ball Super stuff. So here was Broly. So they finally made Broly canon. Here was the movie. When Dragon Ball Super first came out, they came out with 2 movies called Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods and Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, you know. So when the show came out called Dragon Ball Super, it's basically the first 2 seasons are these 2 movies, just stretched out. I'm like, really? I just saw this, like, condensed, like, just a couple months ago. What's going on? So, I mean, it wasn't too bad. After the, you know, again, after the first 2 movies, everything else starts to just become an actual, like, you know, the show takes off and became really awesome. So, of course, because of that, I had to get Dragon Ball Super. So I have the whole series of Dragon Ball Super. It wasn't as long as Dragon Ball Z, but, you know, this show takes place right after Z, and, I mean, oh man, this thing got really cool. I wasn't expecting anything. I think, because, here's the thing, it's like, you know, the, like in Kanto, you know, the song that says, you know, we don't talk about Bruno. Yeah, we don't talk about Dragon Ball GT. It's a sore subject, because a lot of people who are big fans of Dragon Ball Z do not like GT. GT was supposed to take place right after Dragon Ball Z, and from what I understand, Akira Toriyama actually sold the rights to, or no, Funimation bought the rights from Akira Toriyama, who's the creator of Dragon Ball Z, and they bought the rights from him and said, hey, can we continue this show? Because Dragon Ball Z was such a huge hit. And so Funimation was like, let's keep the show going. And so Akira Toriyama said, all right, you guys, you know, you bought the rights. You guys can take the characters and all these other things from Z, and you can do whatever you want with them. And they came up with Dragon Ball GT. It was just a mess. GT was not a very fun show. GT stood for Grand Tour. Whatever. Don't know why. It starts off with Goku actually being turned back into a kid. So you now have Goku as a child. He can still go Super Saiyan. You know, whoop-de-doo. There's the new Dragon Balls are called the Black Star Dragon, or the Black Star Dragon Balls. And they're now set out throughout the galaxy instead of being spread apart on the Earth like the regular Dragon Balls are. And so you meet different aliens, and I mean, it really wasn't just fun anymore. I don't know why. It really just didn't have the same oomph that Dragon Ball Z did. It didn't have, I mean, it had the same voice actor, so I did like that. It had Goku level 4. I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's awesome, level 4, yeah. But I did kind of like the way level 4 looked a little bit, because, you know, his body's red and his hair's black, because, you know, Super Saiyan always had like a blonde hair that went straight up, kind of like those little troll dolls. So when, you know, I didn't like Super Saiyan 3 with the really long hair that, oh, it just looked so weird. It almost looked like a hedgehog kind of look, but I don't even know how to explain it. Level 3 just looks so weird. But I did like level 4. But the thing is that I think that was the only thing I liked about GT, was how level 4 looked. I did not like anything else about that show. I didn't like the bad guys. I didn't like the storylines. They just changed a lot of stuff. I know they even killed off Piccolo, so I know Jeremy over Jeremy's Boas was very upset with that. I'm not sure what they were going to plan on doing, but it just, again, nothing really seemed to click. A lot of fans were very upset about it, and Akira Toriyama actually came up with the idea to do Super after GT failed. So he decided, you know what? I'm going to do Dragon Ball Z again, or Dragon Ball Super, and I'm going to do it better. And everybody likes Super Saiyan 4. Ooh, whoa. I'm going to make Goku go Super Saiyan God. That was like his insult to Super Saiyan 4. So Goku, yeah, actually becomes a god. His power, it's beyond like Super Saiyan anything, it like his aura doesn't look like that fire anymore. It looks more, I think they call it divine energy instead of an aura. And I don't know, I did like Super a lot better. It definitely filled the gap that GT left. So it takes place pretty much, I guess they call it alternate timeline instead. So nothing that happened in GT happened in Super. This takes place right after Z as well. So I'm not even going to try to explain that. Maybe I'll do a more in-depth of the series later or something. But yeah, just quick thing about, why I really liked Dragon Ball Z. I'm so glad I was able to actually collect all these tin cases. I still got to get like season 2 and 3. If you guys know where I can get those for like really cheap, I'd really like to know, because, man, have the whole show like that. Because I can't stream it anywhere. I think you can watch GT on Hulu, but you can't watch like Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z anywhere. I don't even think you can buy the seasons of that show online. I know on iTunes you can get like some of the movies. Like, I know you can get like, these movies I think you can get online on iTunes. But they don't have the music that these movies have. Dragon Ball Z had a unique style of music. And in these movies, you could actually play it in the original Japanese music, or you can play it in like the cool, awesome Dragon Ball Z music. And so they, in the iTunes version of the movie, you can only get, everything's still like, dubbed in English and everything, but it's all the Japanese music with the English language, and it just didn't really mesh right, because that's how Super is. They didn't get the same music guy back for Super. I mean, it was okay. I still like Super way better than GT anyway. But yeah, that's just my little obsession. Love Dragon Ball Z, love some movies and stuff, so just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. I showed you in a video before my collection of some of the action figures, so hopefully I'll be able to collect more of those, and I'll show you some more stuff and more content and stuff later. So like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.